Sarah A. Chrisman.
I'm Gabriel Chrisman.
And today we're discussing Motel of the Mysteries by David Macauley. This is hilarious.
Yes, and very insightful too, because it's basically a spoof about archaeologists and anthropologists and people who try to study cultures based on material artifacts that are left behind, and the vast number of ways in which we consistently misinterpret things.
Right. Isn't David Macauley the same author and illustrator who did all those castle books?
Yeah, I believe so.
Those castle books that if you're from our generation you would have read in elementary school.
Right.
But this is his lighter,
yes.
his lighter work, and it is absolutely hilarious.
It is brilliant, and it basically has a future archaeologist digging up a late 20th century motel, and based directly on the archaeology of Schliemann in the 1890s.
So Schliemann is the one who found the city of Troy.
Right. And who, famously put the gold jewelry, which he declared to be, of course,
the jewelry of Helen.
Right.
Helen of Troy's jewelry.
He put it on his wife and had photos taken and, identified all of this. And equally, just the way that the Egyptian archaeology, or rather the Egyptologists, who were excavating various tombs in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the way that they would declare almost everything a ritual object.
Right. And so there's a hilarious bit where the archaeologist in this book puts the sacred items on his wife, just like Schliemann put Helen's jewelry on her wife. And if you can see, she is actually just wearing a toilet seat.
And toothbrushes as earrings.
And the sanitized for your protection as a headband.
Right. And so, it's wonderful in terms of just breaking down exactly all of the sort of tropes of archaeology, the way that we sort of dig up everything and immediately declare that this is incredibly, pivotal, important information that we've discovered, and it has to be connected to these famous figures,
right.
And then of course that it has to be involved in these rituals that are of, prime significance to understanding the culture.
Yes, and he asked that the sacred seal was
undisturbed. Yes.
The sacred seal of the motel.
Right. And it's great because it's a takedown of all of these sort of all these people who sort of made declarations of archaeological nature and just without thinking necessarily that they might be wrong.
Here we have the great altar.
Right, of course.
And then of course the toilet is the lesser altar.
Yep.
Yes. But yes, wonderful, wonderful interpretations of things. And, well, it does, it plays so much with the idea that we accept so many things as gospel truth from authoritative scientists.
Yes.
And they don't always get things right.
Yes, a lot of this is guesswork, and it's guesswork based on very fragmentary evidence.
Right.
And, you've been reading some books about Egyptology and all of that, and there are so many interpretations.
So many interpretations. I mean, depending on which source you're reading, it can vary as wildly as all of the cat mummies that were found in this particular dig were absolutely every single one of them the mummy of a real cat, all the way to they were almost all just fake ones sold for the tourist trade in ancient Egypt at the time. And you'd think they could at least agree on that, whether they actually contained actual cats.
But since the actual mummies have now been disposed of,
they were turned into fertilizer.
Right. Now you can argue endlessly about it because you no longer have an original as a piece of evidence to go back to.
I mean, it might as well be may contain actual cats.
Right, exactly.
But they can't even agree on something that basic.
Yeah.
And this is playing around with just how a lot of archaeology is truly guesswork. Yes. And it's playing around with the fact that when civilization as we know it is gone, when we are dead and gone, future generations are going to be guessing about us. That whatever they say about us is going to be just as much guesswork
Absolutely.
as what people now do about the ancient Egyptians and the Greeks and even more recent people.
Everyone assumes that modern society somehow is going to manage to pass on all of this information and context about our culture, and no previous society has managed to do this to any real extent.
Right.
If you go anything like that far back. And so there is a real question about how much information will be preserved.
Right.
And when it comes to it, these sort of physical artifacts are some of the only things that we know can survive.
And yet, in spite of that, they can have wildly different interpretations.
Right, because you don't know the context of these physical objects.
Right. I'm trying to remember what it was you said when on your first day of history class in college, the professor asked everyone to answer the question, what is history? And everyone else had really simplistic answers, and yours was like a paragraph. What? Remind me.
We actually had to write a paper.
Okay.
It was a one-page paper explaining what we thought history is. What is history?
Yeah.
And basically, I ended up making an argument for history being a defensible chain of cause and effect, based on evidentiary sources.
Right. At which point, your professor asked if you'd taken the class before.
No, he just said, "You've done this before, haven't you?" So.
Well, your grandmother was a history professor.
Yes.
That helps.
Definitely.
So, well, I can't show you the book when we do our closing because Bastet is sitting on it. Yes. But that's okay. She deserves the right to sit on the book.
So it's keeping her warm.
It's keeping her warm. The table is kind of cold. But anyhow, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a nice thumbs up. And remember to tell your friends about my books. Happy reading!